Hello everyone and welcome to yet another weird little filler thing. Still not quite sure what the next long series is going to be. So this time we're going to be taking a look at another game that I personally enjoy, and one that I have been playing a little bit on the side when I've got time. And this game is called Hard West. And in the true spirit of all things kind of cliche, it's set in the Wild West, and there's also supernatural things. And that is pretty much as cliche as things get sometimes. But that doesn't matter because it's a good cliche. So, the game is split into chapters. We've got 8 chapters, and we've got the starting chapter, which then unlocks additional chapters, either here or here, which I've done the 2 chapters. Then there's the backtracking. I think that's a prologue chapter or something, not quite sure. So we can go straight into a new scenario. So basically, each scenario is its own little contained thing with its own difficulty. So you can do easy, normal, or hard, and you can also have Iron Man on and combat injuries. So basically, those just add to. You might get something out of it. I don't know. I've not tried those, but I know the combat injury thing works both ways, so that they do get the debuffs, but then they get some additional. Maybe they become harder or something. I'm not quite sure.
Became an outlaw on the run, but you still had Florence, the love of your life. You were drifting through settlements, evading the law, gambling. You did well enough, but whenever you won, someone had to lose. And if there was something the masked man truly would not stand, it was losing. Then, out of thin air, a gentleman appeared, offering to resolve your predicament in return for your soul. Unaware of the gravity of your situation, you told him to go to hell, just as they surrounded the saloon.
Okay, so straight into...
Every way out was barred or blocked.
Okay, it's being a little bit weird.
Positioned themselves outside the windows. You were as good as dead.
So, yes, weirdly, both the Death and the Devil are actual characters in this. Actual factual characters. Actual cannibals. Actual Shia LaBeoufs. So, we've got 2 characters currently. Here we can see their equipment. So we've got Florence. And then we've got Warren. And the way the game works is you've got 2 major stats. You've got Luck, which increases your ability to dodge, and I think also to hit. And then we've got hit points, which is fairly self-explanatory. Then you've also got a very nice range modifier, so that you can actually kind of keep track of it very simply without it actually interfering with the UI that much. So we shall not shoot at that guy. We shall turn this table over into half cover, and we shall spend the rest of this character's turn. So that guy dodged, and as you were able to see, when he dodged, he spent some of his luck. Now the way that works is I'm going to flip this over, and it's on the wrong side, so this might turn ugly. So there we go. So we've had one miss where we lost luck. There we had a hit and we gained luck. So every time we're hit, we gain luck. Every time we dodge, we lose luck. And I'd currently be very worried if this wasn't about us dying, because it clearly says time to die. We are about to die. There's no question about that. Then you've got the other actions. You've got subdue, which here doesn't do anything, but in stealth sections prevents enemies from calling help. You've got, of course, shoot and reload, so you do need to actually kind of keep track of your ammo, and each reload action reloads usually a couple of rounds into the gun. Depends a little bit on what the weapon is. For example, since Florence is shooting with a Derringer, that means that the gun is now completely out of ammo, and I think she's going to be able to reload the full thing. Then we've also got on Warren, we've got fan. Well, it's basically fan the trigger. We can demonstrate it here. So he fires 3 shots, but with a penalty.
Florence was dying, her eyes growing glassy as her soul slipped away.
The only narration in the game comes from death, and I'm glad that they've chosen a very nice deep male voice for that. It's the same kind of situation as with the narrator of the Stanley Parable, where if the narrator doesn't have a good fitting voice, then the whole thing kind of loses some of its gravitas. He's got what? He's got gravitas. That guy has some sort of a sniper rifle. Okay, so basically could we die already? I mean, that's kind of what we're waiting for. I mean, I could bust out of cover. Could I even bust out the I don't think I can bust out the front door, but I can stand here. Not got enough action points for that. Right, fuck it. Let's shoot the blokes. That guy's reloading.
You gave your last breath.
There we go.
But on that breath, you pledged to him. You gave your soul for a shot at revenge. Trapped betwixt life and death, you now belonged to neither realm. The coffin nails didn't hold fast. You were supposed to be dead, so no one took notice right away. You considered raising the alarm to bring in more enemies, just to satisfy your bloodlust.
So basically, the situation with this is Warren, who is the character, the main character here, was betrayed and wronged, and is now seeking revenge. And we can actually let's just go straight ahead, and we'll even go and fulfill the additional secondary objective.
You telegraphed the enemy to send more men. You weren't done dispensing justice.
So, basically in the environment you've got some stuff that you can interact with. For example, there was the secondary objective of the telegraph. Then I've interacted with some objects to create additional cover. Very basic stuff. However, because it is so very basic, and because most of the actual most of the effort has gone into the way the combat is done, and the way the game actually does have very good writing as well. Like it's cliched in the way that you'd want it to be cliched. It's a tale about supernatural things in the Wild West, so it has a little bit of a... It has its own little charm, and I do like the art style. The art, or the way the game is designed, is very reminiscent of Desperados. For those who've played that, and Desperados, and I think the follow-up game to that series was actually called Eldorado. I'm not sure if this has anything to do with that game series. But even if it doesn't, then it's still quite interesting. Well, we could try with a bit of the shotgun, and we missed spectacularly. But interestingly, because well, Warren is now, I think, possessed. I'm not quite sure. This is new to me as well. But I think he's now possessed, or at least he's made some kind of deal with the devil, so he's effectively immortal. Because he's currently in the Nightmare Realm, which has been dealt with previously in one of the scenarios as well, which is a sort of unreal world where the demonic powers that are in this game are amplified. And for example, Warren regenerates health. He actually, I think he regenerates 2 health at the beginning of his turn, so we can actually see that right. Well, not right now, but in a bit, as soon as that blows done. Basically at this point I'm just waiting for them to come close. Didn't regenerate. Oh, there we go. Yeah, regenerates 2 health and 10 luck, it would appear. So, coupled with the quite a good amount of luck that he got from being shot at, I think the way it's meant is it takes quite a barrage to actually do any damage to him, so at this moment we are effectively, I think, immortal. Okay, well, we'll go there, go to the corner, we'll check out the... Can we do the cone shot? Is there any reason to do the cone shot? Chance to hit, not very high. Max damage, We could try to shoot that guy and miss him entirely. See, this would be a great moment for a bit of cone shot. Wonder if we can actually reload and get the cone shot out. We might not be able to. Oh, we can. Beautiful. Well, we fired the shot. We only did 1 damage to 1 person, so that's a little bit. But because of the turn-based combat, this is one of those games where at some point things will get a little bit samey and a little bit weighty, so there will be moments of just standing around looking at the... Basically, you take a shot, they take a shot, you hope that they miss. So with that in mind, one of the things that I would like to have is I would like to be able to fire twice, but basically shooting your gun ends the turn for your character. Oh my god, that was a proper fucking walloping. I mean, he's not going to be able to hit me again on this turn, but that was a proper fucking shot, so another one of those, and I might actually be in some real trouble. Oh, I've only got 52 luck left. That actually is quite a situation that we find ourselves in. I might want to run behind heavier cover away from that guy, but also so that I would optimally want to take that guy out. So we'll run there, and we can't shoot anyone. Damn it, that was a bit of a mistake on my part. And in that case I'm just gonna hide here, get some regen on. Oh, nice. Is that... Okay, that was the enemy turn. Not a lot happened there. Kill that guy. Back up to full health. So yeah, one of the things that needs to be remembered is the way they've done cover in this is cover is a stat, it's not something concrete. So for example, if I'm standing behind full cover, that means that I've got a stat boost. It doesn't mean that I'm standing behind something that is actually solid in any way. Only 40% chance, that's a little bit... it could be a lot better. Where could I... Well, I mean, I can go and hide behind there, because that guy's going to have an equally good shot, except, of course, for the range modifier, and I can take that guy out. Okay, that's 4 damage, and he's moved and reloaded, so I don't think he can fire. He's moved and reloaded. I've not got any ammo though. So for example, between those two, that guy wasn't standing in cover at all. So that's why I had a 70% chance to hit him. Ow. Whereas the guy who was leaning next to the fence, even though he was completely out in the open, he still had a he still had more cover due to the fact that he was stood. Due to the fact that he was in fact considered to be in cover. For example, here we can also see that that guy, even though he's like the sight line, this cart here doesn't come into the equation, neither does this pole. It's simply because he's leaning against the wall. So with that in mind, it's again one of those situations where what you want to do is you want to have cover at all times, preferably full cover. Half cover will be preferable to no cover. There's bound to be a shot that's gonna hit us, I'd say during this round. Well, that's okay because we're back to 8. Anyway. 40 on that, 66 on that, so even though the distance is a lot greater, we've still got a better chance at hitting that guy than we do at hitting this guy. And one of the things that I would say in the games, like one of the things that does kind of make the game very enjoyable is that it is, in fact, it can be quite challenging, even though I'm just playing on the normal difficulty, and I don't have the injuries on, I don't have Iron Man mode on, but still, basically, the further you go into a scenario, definitely the harder it gets. So they do have a good idea of difficulty progression, so that it's not just, it doesn't dump you into a situation that is far too difficult from the beginning. I mean, sure, this situation is a bit of an arse, but it's not, you know, it can easily be overcome. Weirdly enough, that guy has a lot better cover than I would have thought, especially when you compare it to that guy. This is one of those moments where I'd really prefer not to be between two guys who can shoot at me. And damage is only going to be 2 to that guy anyway, and 1 to that guy. So maybe what I'll do in this situation is I'll seek better cover instead. So I could seek... Does that kind of go into his attack of opportunity? I think it kind of does. But I think we're going to seek better cover there. And we're going to shoot at that guy. There can't be that many people left, and as soon as that, well, ooh, that was a bit of a situation. As long as that is a shotgun, which I'm not quite sure if it is, but as long as that's a shotgun and not, for example, a... Ooh, Jesus fucking Christ, that was bad. That might have just gotten me killed, in fact. As long as that's a shotgun, not a rifle, it should be kind of okay. It does sound like a shotgun, whereas that is a fucking rifle. Reload. I could take cover in that corner. I could try and shoot him next turn, or I can try and make for him now, or that guy. Problem is, I really kind of do need better cover, at least from something. Let's see what our options are for cover. I could run up there and turn that into full cover. I think that might give me cover from that bloke and that bloke. I could also leg it there. Or there. I know there's probably a guy still there, so that's not a really a good option. I could try to go there for half cover. No, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try for that guy. I missed him, but I've got a good amount. I'm probably going to get hit during this round, but it should be okay. Oh, no, I think he does actually have a rifle. I think he's got one of those. Yep, I'm going to get hit during this round, but it should be okay. Because then I can make here. I should be able to shoot that guy. There we go. So there's still 3 people. So that's that guy, and he can't shoot me. Then there's the guy here. Oh Jesus, he's out of cover as well. He's gonna die. And then there's that guy, and that's the fool. So the enemies are also very good, good at seeking cover. Which does sometimes turn the game into, you know, there's a bit of a sustained firefight mechanic on, which I don't know if it really works in the game's favor in every situation, because it is still like it's still supposed to be about kind of a combat and action-oriented game. So if there are situations like this where the combat kind of drags out a little bit due to the fact that it's just shooting, I'm shooting, they're shooting, then they're shooting, then I'm shooting, it drags on and it can kind of get tedious. Although this is one of those special cases where, because it's just one of, like, I only have one character, as opposed to about 3-ish seems to be kind of standard, at least 2, usually 3, and you can, like, that can change quite a lot depending on what goes on. So hopefully now we get to see a little bit.
The stranger somehow stopped you halfway to death. After that fateful night, the news spread quickly. Masked Man, your nemesis, went into hiding.
The stranger, so that is of course the devil. The stranger approached you again. He said he knew the masked man's location, but that telling you would spoil the sportsmanship of the hunt. He said that if you took 100 lives, he would reward you handsomely. So we've got an option to kill 100 people, and we've got basically other stuff. Here we are, $5,000 reward for the murder of 13 people and 5,000 worth of damage. So something's worthless there. It's either the people or it could be the rest of the stuff. But this is the other part of the game. So we've got this kind of pseudo open world map kind of mechanic, and we've got shopkeeps, and we've got little kind of scenarios within the scenario, and we've actually got a pretty good selection of stuff here for sale, so that you can actually see kind of what we've got. We can sell the Derringer, because the Derringer is kind of terrible. And how much money do we have? Well, we can trade the Derringer for a volcano pistol. We can put in the Schick Shooter, and we can maybe get a elephant rifle, maybe a little bit hassle. Range medium, damage 3, ammo 6. See, that it basically the Western rifle is better. So adjust to offer. And we've just outfitted our situation. Then on the actual, so we can take those off, we can put those in, and we can then of course sell those later on again. You've got 2 weapon slots, an outfit kind of slot, and then you've got 2 consumable slots. Then you've got the other interesting bit, which is the card screen, or the card system, where basically you have you've got playing cards which all have different attributes to them, and you build your deck from them, and depending on how you build your deck you get again different bonuses. For example, now because I've got a pair, I get a movement bonus of 4. So what cards I've actually got on is Jack of Diamonds, ability Shadow Salve, which gives me regeneration when I'm not in direct sunlight, +2 defense. Jack of Spades ability Courage. And then there's 9 of Diamonds, which is Transfusion, and that allows me to exchange health with our target character. I don't know if it works on enemies or if it's just a friendly thing. But, yeah. It's a very kind of bizarre system, and of course with this, the way the world works is you go into... Let's try and see what happens at the Indian camp, because the gin mill will just move it on. The natives live in a small infertile area, so we can trade goods, or we can give them a bottle of liqueur. Let's see what we've got here. 2+ movement, 5+ aim, that might be really good. 4+ sight, a chain rifle. Well, we could do that, and then we could do... No, well, healing herbs actually, yeah. And the rest we shall put into, for example, money, which is kind of interestingly, it's a consumable. Oh, it's marked as an item instead of just being a thing in the slot, which yeah works. Let's see the. So there we go. I kind of assumed one is plenty. No, actually, I'm gonna sell him the shotgun to get it, so that we end up with a little bit more money, and then we'll go back to the Indian camp. We'll give the bottle of liqueur. So we unlocked a kind of additional secret area, and you can just keep doing some of these things. Some of these things you can keep doing. Some of these things are just little bit of additional. Beneath the totem lay a hoard of gold. It whispered that it wanted one of your companions that it would reward you greatly. So if we have a companion, we can apparently offer them to the totem there. We can also dig up a Pinkerton grave, which we've just done, and we received 29 gold, but our luck has gone down a little bit. But yeah, so that in a kind of a nutshell, not really a nutshell, but slightly a nutshell, is Hard West. It's a very interesting game. It's available on Steam. I think it's about 20-ish euros or your local equivalent, so I would definitely kind of recommend waiting until it's on sale to get it, which is what I did. Anyway, I do recommend it though. So, that's it for this time. Thank you for joining me, and for now, goodbye.